Welcome into Thimbleberry U. I am John Jagay, joined again by Amy Walls of Thimbleberry Financial. Hello, Amy. Good to be with you.
Jag, it's good to be talking to you.
So today we're talking about the future of Roth accounts. This is a really hot topic, and I know we've talked about the benefits of Roth accounts in previous episodes. You've mentioned that it's possible that some ways of putting money in a Roth could be going away, and this is, of course, accurate as we're recording this on March 15th. Talk to us about what's happening in D.C. and what might be going on with Roth accounts.
Unfortunately, there is currently no answer as to what will be changing, if anything will be changing. What we do know, however, is that Congress has been fussing. And I think fussing is the best word here.
Generally for all things in Congress, but yes.
So they have been fussing with certain types of Roths and adding verbiage to bills that would reduce or eliminate the ability to put money into Roth accounts for some people.
Okay, so before we talk about what might be taken away, let's take a step back and look at the different ways people can put money into Roth accounts.
Definitely a great place to start. So before I actually get into that, what I'd like to do is take a step back to a topic we talked about in our first podcast, which was around tax diversification.
Okay, let's do a quick recap on that because that's probably an important place to start. You're right.
Basically, there are three ways people can save money. Okay, and if you draw a triangle, equilateral, or what have you, and at the base is a flat side. Okay, let's not put the point down. But on one corner of this triangle, we have pre-tax accounts. Things like 401ks and 403bs and traditional IRAs. Okay, those dollars, when you withdraw the money in retirement, are taxed the same way that your paychecks are taxed.
Right, you're not paying the taxes when you put that into the account. You're paying the taxes when you withdraw it.
Yes. And there's two rules you have to be aware of. One is 59 and a half because you really can't get at that money before that age without paying a penalty. And then the second age you have to be aware of is 72. And that is the age that Uncle Sam knocks on your door and says, hey, thank you very much. You've accumulated a pot of money here and we're looking at actuarial tables and you're not going to live very much longer. And so we want our tax money.
So start taking that out so you can pay us the tax money. Got it. Okay. Yep.
Exactly. Okay. So that's that bottom, I'll call it bottom right-hand side of the triangle. The bottom left-hand side is after-tax dollars. This is money that might be in a brokerage account. Basically, it's not under the protection of a retirement account. So also money in the bank, savings accounts, right, can be this. You're paying tax from the perspective of capital gains and dividends on these dollars. Okay. The third area, the top of the triangle, is after-tax dollars again, same as the second area. But this money, when it pays out tax-free.
This is money you've already paid the taxes on, like Roths.
Yep. So this is where the Roths would fit. And so I think in that first podcast, I talked about, the first corner that we talked about is like having an umbrella over your money. And as soon as you step out from an umbrella, you get hit with rain. Well, same thing. The money leaves the account. It gets taxed with those tax raindrops. In the second area, your umbrella actually blew away, so there's no protection to be had. And in the third area, these Roths, it's like it's sunny. There's no chance of rain because as long as you follow the rules that we've talked about in other episodes, that money's growing tax-free and is distributed tax-free.
So I'm visualing this triangle in my brain, Amy, and now we're talking about this tax-free money at the top of it. So this is like above the clouds. We're not worrying about the rain. Got it. Okay.
Exactly. So when we look at it that way, the reason I bring this up and think this is a better place to start is because while we've talked about benefits before, it helps set the stage of why are these Roths important? For one, people can only get so much money into the first area of the triangle. You can only do so much through your employers. And we need to have this framework for, I think, something that I'll probably touch on later. Two, the after-tax area that we talked about there is the least efficient from a tax perspective. And then the Roths are the most tax efficient because obviously it's growing tax-free and being distributed tax-free if you follow those rules.
Yeah.
So going back to your question, though, is what are the different ways you can get money into Roth accounts? And there are actually 5 that are coming to mind for me right now. One is you can contribute directly to a Roth IRA.
Yep.
Now, not everybody can do this. There are income limits meaning if your income is above a certain amount, you can't contribute directly to a Roth.
Right.
Okay. Then the second way is contributing directly to a Roth employer-sponsored retirement plan. So a Roth 401k, a Roth 403b, a Roth 457 plan. And in these plans, you can contribute more than you could contribute to a Roth IRA. So for someone under the age of 50, that's $20,500. And for someone over the age of 50, that's $27,000.
Okay.
The issue with these plans is an employer has to have chosen to adopt Roth provisions on their 401k or 403b or 457 plan. And not everybody's done that.
So you can only participate if your employer has agreed to do that. Got it. Okay.
Correct. Another way to get money into Roth accounts is to convert money from the first area of the triangle into the Roth. So what this means is you take pre-tax IRA money, okay, and you convert it into a Roth. So one thing to note is that these conversions, any type of conversion, cannot be undone. It's permanent once done.
No mulligans.
Yep. And let's say you were to convert $100,000, okay, from IRAs into Roths. It's $100,000 of income that's realized in the year you convert. So if we did this in 2022, I take $100,000 from my IRA, I fill out special paperwork that says I'm converting, and it transfers over into a Roth account. I now realized $100,000 of income from that transaction that I'm going to owe taxes on.
Right. That adds to whatever you've made for at the end of the year for salary and any other revenue you had. That $100,000 gets tacked onto it for tax purposes. Got it.
Absolutely. And then now that with that money is in a Roth IRA, it gets to grow tax-free and ultimately be distributed tax-free. Now, there are some other rules in there. I won't go into here because that was a whole podcast in and of itself. But we can see the benefit there of going from pre-tax to Roth.
Okay, so that's 3. What's number 4 of our 5 ways?
Yeah, the fourth way is to take after-tax IRA money, non-deductible IRA money, and convert it into a Roth. This is commonly referred to as a backdoor Roth strategy. Mm-hmm. So in this strategy, what someone does is they make a non-deductible IRA contribution. So let me explain that. They contribute to an IRA, but for whatever reason, income's too high, they have an employer-sponsored retirement plan, they can't deduct the IRA contribution. And in this strategy, you don't want to. And so it's an after-tax contribution sitting in the IRA that you then convert to a Roth. Well, because it's after tax, if you do it right, it also wouldn't be taxable and you haven't given it the chance to grow. So it's a tax neutral event.
Okay.
So basically, it's a way for people who make too much money to contribute directly to Roths to put money into an IRA, move it to the Roth through a conversion, and now have it act as if it's regular Roth money.
And grow tax-free. Okay.
And grow tax-free.
And the last one of 5?
Yeah, this is a lot like number 4, often referred to as a mega backdoor Roth strategy. And here you contribute after-tax money into an employer-sponsored plan like a 401k, and then convert that to a Roth. So let's say you're under 50 and you put in your $20,500 for the year. Mm-hmm. Okay. But there is actually a cap that someone can contribute to a 401k. And usually we say it's $20,500, but it's actually bigger than that. You have to take into account employer money going into the plan too. So let's say somebody could put, after they put in their $20,500 and their employer put in their match, let's say somebody could put in $15,000 after tax. What they then do is convert that inside the plan into the Roth.
I see.
So it's a way to get a lot more money over to the Roth, thus the nickname mega backdoor.
So 5 ways you can get money into a Roth account. We're kind of scratching the surface here on a basic level. And of course, somebody can contact you at Thimbleberry Financial if they want to know more details about it. But are all of these 5 ways to put money into a Roth at risk with what's being talked about in DC right now?
Yeah, so far, no. They aren't all at risk of being eliminated. Direct contributions, the first 2 options I talked about, appear to be safe.
Okay.
It is important to note that direct contributions, like I mentioned, are subject to income caps. So it's not something everybody can do. Mm-hmm. And those employer plans must adopt Roth provisions. So there's only, a certain portion of the percentage that have this option.
Okay.
Then the conversion of pre-tax money to a Roth, this looks like it might be changed. Okay, so this is not the backdoor Roth or the mega backdoor Roth. Currently, there are no limits on someone's income in order to be able to do this conversion. Mm-hmm. It used to have a $100,000 income limit for the year. Going forward, it looks like Congress may be capping this at $400,000 of income.
Okay.
Which sounds pretty high. Mm-hmm. Though what we have to consider is the amount converted also is included in the income. And especially for our clients working in tech that maybe have equity compensation and things that are paying out that they may not actually get to realize, but gets counted in income, that makes this difficult.
I see. Okay.
Okay. And the last two, the backdoor Roth and mega backdoor Roth strategies, appear to have proposals frequently coming up to eliminate these two options. We've actually asked our clients that were doing the mega backdoor Roth strategies to stop for 2022.
Okay.
From a safety perspective. I mentioned earlier that you can't undo a Roth conversion. And the way the legislation has been written for both backdoor and mega backdoor Roths is that once the legislation is signed, it's effective. So it's not future dated. It's right when it's signed. And so if someone is in the middle of this process, they could get stuck because you also can't undo it.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's really important to know. That's right. It's so glad that you're staying on top of this stuff for your clients. So, you've made a case time and time again, and I agree with you, on the value of having Roth money. So now we're looking at a situation potentially, if it's not an option to contribute to the IRA for income reasons, and the work retirement plan doesn't offer you a Roth, and this legislation you're talking about goes through, how does a client or someone listening to our podcast diversify from a tax perspective?
It's a great question, Jag. Obviously, you're right. Financial planning strategies will be impacted if these changes do go through. I think the thing to remember is while the Roth money can really help tax efficiency, not everyone who retires successfully needs to have Roth money.
Okay.
With the Roth, it's allowing for that extra tax efficiency and flexibility. It's a boost. It's a bonus, if you will. And for some people, it's already not an appropriate strategy because lots of factors do influence it. So it may mean, to answer your question, that people need to save more in the other two areas of the triangle. Mm-hmm. It may also mean that we could see or recommend more Roth conversions in the early years of retirement. Perhaps if someone retires early before Social Security starts and they've got some low income, that might be a time where Roth conversions staying under that income limit could make a lot of sense.
That's really good strategy, Amy. So just to make sure I understand this correctly, because the money you're converting gets counted toward your annual income for the year, your AGI, whatever the terms may be, if you're going to do this, it's ideal to do it when you're in a lower tax bracket and this money that you're converting is not going to bump you into a higher tax bracket. Do I understand that right?
Yeah, it can bump you into a higher tax bracket, but we definitely want to be aware of what your tax bill is going to be from doing these conversions, and it is better to do it when the taxes are lower.
This stuff is so important in terms of planning and then staying on top of current events, as I said earlier, and that's why I enjoy talking to you every couple of weeks, Amy, because you really do have your finger on the pulse of what's going on and looking out for your client's best interest at Thimbleberry Financial. If somebody wants to come talk to you and your team over there, what are the best ways to find you?
Yeah, they can get a hold of me at thimbleberryfinancial.com or by giving us a call at 503-610-6510.
Really important stuff as always today, Amy. Thanks so much. We'll talk again soon.
Sounds good, Jag.
Registered representative. Securities offered through Cambridge Investment Research, Inc., a broker-dealer, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisor representative. Cambridge Investment Research Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Cambridge and Thimbleberry Financial are not affiliated.